Hi everyone, and welcome to another class on my channel, Tom Yoga Om. If you haven't subscribed already, then please press the red subscribe button, and you can also give the video a like if you like it. Today we're going to start in a seated position, so just make yourself comfortable in whatever seated position suits you. I like to cross my legs, but sometimes we might find that when we do this our hips or our knees feel a little bit tight. So if that's the case for you, you can sit up onto a brick or a book or something that will elevate your hips up, and just see how that feels when you lift your hips up a little bit higher. It should alleviate that pain or that tension in those joints a little bit. All right, so just come to a seat that feels comfortable for you, and then bring your hands onto your knees and make sure that your shoulders are nice and relaxed. Draw your chin downwards and think of extending up through the top of your head. It's like you're reaching your spine up and at the same time relaxing your shoulders down. Just take a moment to close your eyes or either soften your gaze. And the reason we do this is because it helps us to tune out distractions. And take a big breath into your belly and up into your chest. And just take an exhale out through your mouth, sighing to relax. Let's take 2 more breaths like that. So inhaling down into your belly and up into your chest, and sighing out of your mouth to relax. Just notice how your body's feeling. If you feel any tension here, this last exhale in this manner, try to relax that space, breathing down into your belly, up into your chest, and exhaling to relax. Good, and then close your mouth. Just start to breathe through your nostrils and find a rhythm to your breath. So just notice that your inhales and your exhales are lasting for the same length of time. Simply let the breath roll in and out. As you inhale, imagine that you're lengthening up through the top of your head. And with each exhale, relax your shoulders, relax the muscles around your neck. Then again, inhale, think of your spine lengthening upwards. And exhale, think of those shoulders softening downwards. And as you breathe, you might have a lawnmower in the background like I do, creating some noise and some distraction, and maybe making you feel agitated, making you feel restless, distracting you. Think of this as a test. We're just going to be here for 10 more breaths before the class starts. Just let the breath keep rolling in and out. And to help you tune inwards and not outwards towards the distraction, rather inwards towards your body and how your body is being affected, how it sits right now, just focus on the flow of your breath and see if you can feel the vibrations, the really subtle vibrations of the inhale and of the exhale. And then I'm sure that in whatever space you're in right now, there are sounds. Maybe there's a creaking of a floor, sound of someone outside or in another room. And just see if you can allow those sounds to be there without paying too much attention to them, without attaching yourself to whether they're there or not, and instead attach yourself to really focusing on the sound of your breath. So it might not be very loud, it might be really quiet and subtle. Sometimes that's exactly what we need to help us tune in. So notice the sound of your breath for one more inhale and exhale. We've got 3 more breaths here. So with these last 3 breaths, just breathe in a little bit deeper. And make sure you exhale out a little bit longer and see if you can relax any last bit of tension that you are feeling. Just letting it drop away. Good. And after that last exhale, you can open your eyes. Welcome. Thanks for sticking with me. We're just going to start nice and slow, and then we're going to build up into getting a really nice stretch in. So just to begin with, I want you to just make sure that your head is directly centered. You can kind of do that by aligning your nose with your heart and with your pelvis, your hips. And then we're going to take our hands onto our knees, and I want us to squeeze our shoulders up into our neck. And as you exhale, just drop your arms down, sighing out of the mouth. Let's do that 2 more times. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, and breathing out. And then just draw some circles with those shoulders, massaging into the front of your pectoral muscles, so this chest area, and massaging into the back. And then can you take 2 more breaths and just rotate the opposite way? Still breathing, still massaging into the front and the back body, and just gently loosening up into those shoulders. Good. And then come back to center. From here we're going to draw a spiral with our nose. So draw a circle or a spiral, and just make that spiral as big or as small as you need it to be. And find your breath for 1 full inhale and exhale. Go as fast or as slow as you need. And once you make it back to a central position, just change sides for 2 breaths. Sometimes these more subtle movements aren't as exciting as maybe a headstand or whatever, but they're just so good for us, for our body. Come back to a neutral position. I'm going to keep stretching into the neck because it's so good to get into it. Take your right hand and place it onto your left collarbone. And I want you to take your fingers and kind of just, not too much, just gently dig them into the space behind your collarbone. When we do this, we kind of pin the muscle down a little bit. I want you to turn your head towards your hand that's pinning the collarbone and gently lift your chin, and you should feel a stretch in the front of your neck. Just keep your hand there. You don't need too much force. You're just kind of trapping the muscle and you're stretching into the front of the neck. And you can move your head around whichever way to get the right stretch. Take 1 more breath in and out here. Try to soften as you exhale. And then come back to a neutral position. Take your left hand onto your right collarbone, and again, just press it in and see if you can notice a difference between this side and the first side. So again, turn your head to face your hand, lift your chin up. So this side's tighter for me in different places. And just going to let it be for what it is. Just breathe into it slowly. Maybe have a think about why one side is tighter than the other. Is it because of a habit that you have? Usually that's kind of the case. Sometimes we're born that way. When you're ready, come back to center. Remember to keep that breath rolling in and out. Do 2 more stretches for our neck, and then we're done with this part of the body. We're going to take our right hand on top of our head and just drop our right ear down to our right shoulder. And to find the sweet spot in this stretch, I want you to relax your right shoulder. Really let that arm hang heavy. Just let gravity do the work instead of cranking down with that arm. And take 2 deep breaths into the left side of your neck. To find that sweet spot, you can move your chin forwards or backwards, up and down, until you find a spot that feels good. 1 more breath here. Good, and then gently come back to center and just change sides. So left hand on top of your head, drop your left ear down to the left shoulder, and just get into the habit of relaxing that left arm. 2 breaths. Good job, and then relax your head, your arm, lift your head back to center. Circle your shoulders a couple more times. The shoulders and the neck are all connected, so we just want to make sure that there's no kind of tightness that might have locked in. And when you're ready, we're going to take our arms out in front of us, interlace our hands, reach our index fingers forward, and just draw our chin down. And at the same time, what I want you to do is pull your arms apart as you hold on with your hands. You'll find a stretching in the back body. That's what we want. Just draw your chin down. Take 2 deep breaths here into the back body. Space between your shoulders. And try to relax the tops of your shoulders. 1 more breath. Good, and then release, relax your hands down. Take your arms behind you, interlace your hands behind you, reach them down first, and then lift your chest up a little bit. Squeeze your shoulder blades together and take 2 deep breaths into the belly and into the chest. Just stretching the opposite side. Relax those shoulders. 1 more. Good, and then release. Let's move down the body a little further. Sweep your arms up, take a big breath in. And exhale, float your arms down. Hopefully your shoulders feel pretty good. You might find that as you breathe and flow like this, the space around your neck and up here feels pretty good, but maybe you're starting to feel that stretch down the side of your arm, the side of your body. Let's do 1 more, inhaling up. As you exhale, we're going to drop our left hand down and we're going to stretch the side of that body. So we're going to reach our right arm over to the left side, try and pin your right sitting bone down and take 2 deep breaths into the right side of your body. Can you feel the stretch all the way from the hip to the rib and then from the rib to the arm? Can you find that? Can you find that stretch? Reach a little further as you exhale and then lift both arms up. And drop your right hand down, reach your left arm over. 2 deep breaths here. Find the stretch from the hip to the rib. And then from the rib, or ribs, to your shoulder, to your arm. 1 more breath. Good, and then press into your bottom hand. Sweep both arms up. And as you exhale, just float your hands down. And from here, we're going to start stretching into the lower back. If you've got a brick underneath you, you might want to remove it depending on how your body's feeling. And from here, we're going to turn to the top of our mats if you're not there. Just ground down to your sitting bones. Take your hands out in front of you. Take a breath into your belly and into your chest. And then with your sternum, which is the central part of your chest, just reach it forward as far as you can. You're kind of trying to get it to touch as far out in front of you as you can. Once you find that you've reached a limit, which is probably indicated by a tightness in your back or your hips, then just round your body down. And take 2 deep breaths in and out here. And after that exhale, slowly bring yourself back up into a seating position. We're going to take our hands onto our knees. 1 last little stretch here for the sides of the body. Take your right hand onto your left knee, your left hand behind you, and just twist, looking towards that left shoulder. Take a big breath in. And as you exhale, twist a little deeper. Just keep breathing. And after that next exhale, come back to center and just change sides. So left hand onto your right knee, right hand behind you and twist. Good, and then come back to center. Good, and from here, we're just going to take our hands out in front of us, come onto our hands and our knees, and let's do 3 cat-cow. So inhaling, dropping your belly down. Now we're starting to move into the other parts of the spine that we haven't yet opened up. As you exhale, press your feet down, round your back up to the ceiling, press the floor away from you. Let's take 2 more breaths like this. It's a loud plane overhead. Again, just try and focus in on your breath. Focus in on your body. And take 1 more round of breath like this. Inhaling, opening up. And exhaling, pressing away. Good. And from here, we're going to stretch our legs out. So step your right leg back. Just move the heel forwards and backwards. And then step your left leg back and do the same. So just pedaling your knees on the spot. Take 3 deep breaths. This pose here, this plank, helps you build strength in your body. Just take a big breath in and big breath out. 2 more. And last one. And as you exhale, drop your knees down to the floor. Move your shoulders forward beyond your wrists, and with a little bit of control, lower yourself down onto your belly. Good. For this sequence, for this class today, we're going to take our hands out a little wider, come up onto our fingertips, press down into your feet from this position, press down into your hips, and keep that pressure of the hips and the feet down as you lift your chest up. Draw your elbows away from the center of your chest, so you're kind of pulling them apart. Press those hips down, press the feet down, and as you exhale, roll your spine down nice and slow. Take 2 more breaths like that. Inhale, lifting up. And exhale, rolling down. And 1 more. Big breath in, lifting up. And big breath out, rolling down. Lovely. Take your hands under your shoulders again. Tuck your toes under. Power up into a plank or a tabletop and then a plank. And let's come into our first downward facing dog. Let's press into our hands. And don't be afraid or resistant to bending the knees, even if you're an experienced yogi. Just take a moment here to bend those knees and gently straighten each leg left to right. Move your shoulders away from your ears to give your neck space. And just notice how your hips and your legs feel. It's the last thing we're going to open up today because we haven't opened that space up around the legs. The rest of the body should feel good though. Alrighty, and from here walk yourself to the top of your mat. Take your hands onto your thighs. Just going to move my phone, which is recording the sound. I'm going to inhale up into a halfway lift as we breathe in. And as you exhale, bring a generous bend into your knees and just roll yourself down. Good, 2 more like that. Inhale, lifting up. And exhale, bending those knees, rolling down. Relax into the lower back, into the spine. Last one, big breath in. And a slow breath out. Bend those knees, fold. Good. Press into both feet and really try and get a balanced sense of pressure in both feet. Balanced in left and right feet, in your left and right foot, and in the toes and in the heels. And from that balanced space, with control, press down into your feet. See if you can lift your arms up to the ceiling, up to standing, breathing in. And breathe out, bring your hands through to your heart center. Good. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, hands through to heart center. Last one, full breath in. And this time, exhale, bend those knees, fold all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift, extend your spine, reach out through the top of your head, relax those shoulders. Exhale, bend your knees, fold. Plant your hands on the floor, step your left foot back, and drop your left knee to the floor. From here, keep your hands on the ground, and just take a big breath in, send your hips back. And as you exhale, send your hips forward and sink them down. Stretch into that left thigh, the left hip. 2 more times. Inhale, sending them back. And just slow down the breath and really focus on that stretch. Exhale, lowering down. And last one, full breath in. And exhale, full breath out. Good. From here, press into your hands and bring yourself all the way back. So taking your hips onto that left foot. See if you can sit up onto that left foot. If your knee's really uncomfortable, you could bring a brick in underneath your left hip. From here, we're going to pull those right toes back towards us. Take a big breath in. And again, we're going to reach forward with our sternum. Just come as far as you feel you can before you feel a really strong stretch in the leg or the lower back. And then hold there and just tuck your chin down, relax your shoulders and your neck, take 2 deep breaths. And what you're looking for here is a stretch into your hamstring, a stretch into your lower back. If you can feel it in your lower back, make sure it's not painful. If it is, just ease off a little bit. And wherever you're at, take your breath down into the space where you feel the stretch. I mean, like, send your conscious awareness there and imagine that you're physically expanding that muscle on the inhale. And imagine that you're relaxing it on your exhale. I said 2 breaths, but let's do one more. Big breath in. And a smooth breath out. Good. And then from here, we're going to inhale, press into our hands, lift ourselves to vertical. And then I want you to point your toes. We're going to do the same thing. Breathe into your belly, breathe into your chest. And as you exhale, keep pointing those toes. Reach your chest, your sternum forward and fold down. You might come a little further. It's because you're relaxing a part of your hamstring, the back of your leg, just a little bit. So as that part of your hamstring relaxes, there's less tension on the lower back, which allows you to fold further. Keep trying to find that stretch and take 2 deep breaths into it. It might be a little more subtle or not. Keep pointing those toes. Last breath. In and out here. Good, and then slowly press into your hands, lift yourself up. Now we've got a bit of a weird one. We're going to take our right foot in, bending the right knee, and bring your right foot to your left knee, like so. Then I want you to roll yourself off of that left foot. You're going to come into what we call a deer pose. Some people like those left toes pointed out to the side of their mat. Some people like the foot nice and flat. Doesn't really matter. And just know that in this pose, it's normal for your left glute, your left hip to be off the floor. That's okay. From here, we're just going to lean into that right hip, take a breath into the belly and the chest. And again, with your sternum, I want you to reach it forward and fold over your right leg. You should feel it in the outside of the right hip, the outside of the right leg. That's what we want. Take 2 deep breaths here. It's quite a juicy stretch, as we call it, eh? Good, and when you're ready, press into your hands. We're going to slowly bring ourselves forward into a low lunge again. So press into your hands, rock yourself forward like so. And then we're just going to turn ourselves over towards the opposite side of our mat. So our left foot is pointing forward. From here, send your hips back. And as you exhale, send your hips forward and down. And just find that stretch in your thigh. You might need to adjust your legs. 2 more, breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. Good, hold here for a breath. See if you can relax your hips a little more on your exhale. Good, and then gently press into your hands. Come and sit back onto your right foot. Pull those left toes back towards you. So I feel right now that my right knee is holding a bit of tension. So I'm going to lift my hips up and just bring a brick in underneath my hips with a loud bang. And just sit up onto a brick because my knee doesn't like it. And that's just where I'm at today. So if you feel that or something similar, those bricks or a cushion can really help. Pull your left toes back towards you. Take your hands onto the floor. Breathe into your belly and into your chest. And as you exhale, reach your sternum forward and round your spine down. Notice how this side feels different and find your breath here. Take 1 more inhale and exhale. Soften as you exhale and then take a final breath, pardon me, I want you to again focus on sending the breath down to wherever you feel the stretch. Imagine you're expanding that space and then relaxing it as you breathe out. Good, and then press into your hands, lift yourself up and point your toes. We're going to do that same fold forward. Breathe into your belly, breathe into your chest. And as you exhale, reach your chest forward and fold yourself down. Take 2 deep breaths. We're always referring to the breath. We're always talking about it. If you're not sure why we talk about it, let me know and I'll make a video about it. Because we're all at different levels, so you might find yourself so confused as to why we talk about the breath so much and why it's important. And then take that final breath, focusing on the stretch, and imagine you're expanding it and relaxing it as you exhale. Good job. And when you're ready, just press into your hands and lift yourself up. It's good to use your hands because sometimes we relax too much, and as we engage to pull up again, which is what happens when you lift up, you engage back muscles. You can engage too fast and it can be a little sore if you're not warmed up. Okay, if you've got a brick, remove it. Place mine to the side or a cushion or whatever, and just sit down onto your left sit bone. Bring your left foot into your right knee and maybe turn that right foot out to the side. Take your hands either side of your legs, take a breath into your belly and into your chest. And as you exhale, reach your chest forward. And I feel it right away in this left side. I've had issues with my lower back on that left side, so for me it feels really tight. And if you're finding that you've got a tighter side on either side, in any stretch we do, what I'd like you to do is just find that edge of the stretch. Just that point right before you feel the stretch, and hold there, and with control take a breath in. Imagine you're stretching the muscle, and as you exhale, soften. One more. Good, and when you're ready, you can gently press yourself up, and from here we're going to rock ourselves up to the top of our mat again into a tabletop position. And we've got one last stretch here that we're going to do for our hips. We're going to send our right foot to our right wrist, our left foot to our left wrist, and come into a yogi squat, malasana. Take your elbows into your legs, your hands together, and just let your hips drop down. Take a big breath into your belly, into your chest. And as you exhale, try to soften your hips. One more full breath in and out like that. Good, and then gently press into your legs, and imagine you're splitting your legs apart with your arms. At the same time, press your legs inwards, so there's a bit of resistance between the arms and the legs. And with that pressure applied, your hands gently press together. Take 2 more breaths here. And try to find your breath. Good. Bring your hands onto the floor. We're going to roll ourselves onto our backs. And last little stretch we're going to do here is for the lower back. Pardon me, don't drop yourself down yet. We're going to bring our feet down onto the floor, take our arms behind us, hands pointing forward. Just drop your knees from left to right. This is for your lower back. And this is like a nice twisty shape to your lower back, just dropping your knees. And the shape that we kind of fall into helps to open up that space around the lower parts of the spine a little bit. So go as slow or as fast as you need and come back to center. Now to strengthen your arms in just the one final way, we're going to come into a reverse bridge pose. I want you to press your feet down into the floor, press your arms down, and then with as much strength as you can, really grip your hands down into the floor. See if you can lift your hips up a little bit. Instead of letting your body collapse down into your shoulders, see if you can press down into your arms and lift your chest up. Maybe you come here. If you've got a little bit more strength, try to lift your hips up as high as you can. And some of you will like to drop your head back or draw your chin into your chest. Do what feels good for you. And take 2 deep breaths here. Coming into whatever position feels good. Last one, keep pressing down in those arms. Good, then relax your body down onto the floor. Roll your spine onto the ground. And from here, bring your knees into your chest, give them a gentle squeeze. Circle them a few times if it feels good for your lower back. Circle the other way. And then gently bring your feet flat on the floor with your knees bent. And either walk your feet out wide, let your knees drop in, or extend your legs out as you'd like. And then take one hand onto your belly, one hand onto your chest. And we're going to close the class with 10 breaths. Try not to skip parts like this because it's really a nice time to check in with our body one more time before we come back into the world. Take a deep breath in through your nostrils, deep breath in through to your belly, through to your chest. And exhale out of your mouth with a sigh. 2 more. Breathing in deeper. Letting your hands rise up and exhaling out of the mouth with a sigh. Last one. Full breath in. Good. We've got 7 more breaths here. Just allow them to roll in and out through your nostrils. Notice how your body feels. And allow your breath to travel to any other parts of your body where you might feel tension. So imagine you're sending your breath to any places that feel tight or need to be relaxed. And as you breathe into them, imagine you're expanding the muscle. And as you breathe out, imagine you're relaxing it. Take 2 more deep breaths in and out. And on your last one, just take a full breath in. And on your exhale, try to relax every last bit of tightness in your body. Let yourself sink down into your mat. If you want to stay here, you can. Otherwise, bring your knees into your chest, give them a gentle squeeze, and roll over onto the right side of your body. Take a breath in and out here. And then gently press down into your hands. Bring yourself up to the top of your mat. And come to a comfortable seat. Take your hands onto your knees, and just as at the start of the class, I'd like you to inhale, imagine you're lengthening through your spine, and exhale to soften your shoulders and your neck. Just take 3 more breaths like that to close the class. And again, tune into the sound of your breath, the vibrations of your breath. Take 1 more deep breath in and out. Thank you very much for joining me today. I hope that you enjoyed the class. If you did, please hit that subscribe button. It really helps. And give the class a like or even leave a comment. Thanks again. Namaste.